And we are live. It's good, Josh, your man, DL Saint. Welcome. I really want to know podcast, man. How y'all feeling out there? Happy Monday, man. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope you guys had a good weekend out there. Hope you had a good start to your week. I started my week by talking to a healthcare professional, mental health care professional. Got to stay on top of that. Especially those of us who served. You got to stay on top of that, man. If you don't, you can get yourself in some trouble, all sorts of trouble. So don't be afraid to do that. Don't be like an ancient old person like myself, like an old soldier. And we didn't believe in that sort of thing. But now I definitely see the value and understanding what's going on with your mental health, man. So make sure y'all check that out. What else is going on? What else is there to talk about? Nothing really going on. I got a trip to Miami coming up this weekend. Gonna be down there for a couple of days. My brother wants to go down, and I'm, it's like, yeah, doesn't take much to twist my arm. I mean, yeah, don't threaten me with a good time. So I'll be in Brickell this weekend, moving around, doing what we do, and yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Summertime has been kind of slow motion, which was cool. I mean, I had to sit down for those 65 days, like that was something. But now I'm just trying to ease back into real life and just kind of get stuff going and get it, it is what it is. So nothing much to report there. Definitely always working on stuff. You guys know I'm retired, but I got a whole bunch of irons in the fire, doing a whole bunch of things. So I'm doing more stand up. I'm committed to getting back into that. I might even try to do some time while I'm down in Miami. Working on the consulting thing. Not only do I consult with people when it comes to like this red pill thing, if you're a member of the mental swamp or you're some dude out there, you're trying to, get some pointers, get some help. I'm here for that. So I do that as well. But I'm also doing consulting with pilots who want to get better at mastering radio communications with air traffic control. Because, for those who don't know, I'm a retired air traffic controller. So that's just like right up my alley. So, we're working on that. And then, of course, running this platform, doing videos, getting up to speed, getting to where the algorithm loves us again. And we start, get our content out there. So today, with all that said, what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about black pillars. We're going to talk about why you should stay away from black pillars, man. Stay away from the black pillars. They can jack you up, right? They can jack you up, especially if you're out here trying to better yourself and you're trying to get out here and get after it in the sexual marketplace, man. You're trying to get out here in these dating trenches and get yourself a woman, get yourself a good woman. The black pillars, man, they going to hurt you. And they're going to jeopardize your mission if you ain't careful, right? So let's get into it. And we are live. What's good, y'all? Welcome to the I Really Want to Know podcast, y'all. Get some indeed, man. So we're definitely going to get into this conversation. I know a lot of folks in this world like to hear me talk about this. Let me check the audio real quick. Sounds like the audio is good out there. And, some people say, man, you being too hard on the black pillars, man. You don't understand. Maybe I don't. Let's just keep it 100. I don't understand defeatist mindset. I've never been the type of dude to just roll over and give up. So that's how I see the black pillars. Like they just give up. And the vast majority of the guys, in my opinion, they give up before they even get into the game. That's like quitting. You forfeiting. You didn't even try. So, then they say, well, on the MGTOW, they're like the MGTOW guys. MGTOW's different. The MGTOW dudes I know, they know game. They understand female nature. They understand human nature. They know how to be social. They know how to engage in conversation. They know how to be charming. They've gotten women. Most of those dudes have been married. They've been run through the ringer. They went through the family law system, divorce court and all that. Some of them 2 or 3 times. The MGTOW guys, the men going their own way. Those dudes understand the game and has had success in the game. and they just decided that they don't like where the dating marketplace is today, and they're just kind of walking away from it. Like, yeah, you know what? I ain't dealing with it. People like Better Bachelor, like Joker. Joker know what time it is. He knows he did it. He did the thing. He knows how to talk to folks. He's just like, yeah, this isn't for me. This isn't for me. I'm just gonna go ahead and sit down for a while. Now, does that mean he's gonna stay away? Who knows? He might decide to, get back into the game. But the black pillars, the black pillars are the true involuntarily celibate dudes. These are the true invisible men. And black pillars start getting off into all sorts of weirdness, like looks maxing. That's some weird stuff right there, bro. Your looks maxing. I guess the purpose of looks maxing is to get a woman, but if you do all the looks maxing and you spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, plastic surgery and doing whatever, like taking meth and smashing your bones and whatever, getting your legs cracked open so you can gain 2 or 3 inches here and there with the lengthening surgeries. Okay, say you do all that. And now women are looking at you, women want to talk to you. Okay, you don't know what to do. You know what I mean? You got her attention. Now what? You still don't have any game, still got to do work. Right? You still got to do work. So that's what we're gonna talk about today. Shout out to Brother Michael in the building, man. Brother Michael Lee in the building. What's happening? What's happening, man? Good to see you, man. And Brother Pablo in the building, man. It's always good to see you, fam. Always good to see you, fam. I was gone for a while. I'm glad that you caught up with me, man. You back, man. It's good to see you. Say the old military flag, man, is gone, man. The airborne flag is gone. Yeah, that's right. You ain't been here. You've been. Let me scroll out so you can see what it looks like. So we kept the pictures. We still have Snatch and we have Man on Fire. I am trying to figure out how to do I want to do a segment or a show, a series or whatnot. I have a day when we talk about movies in Hollywood and stuff like that. So we might start rotating the posters out. I might start getting different, like I'm a huge fan of Ronald D. Moore's Battlestar Galactica, so I might get a Battlestar Galactica poster instead of the Snatch poster. I might get another poster for Man on Fire. I might go and get I don't know, Men from Uncle or something like that. Like I might just start rotating the photos out. But yeah, we got rid of the airborne flag. I couldn't figure out how to incorporate it, so we mixed in. We got the globe up there. We're gonna have books. I used to have I would have weapons where that pyramid is. I used to have firearms, and now we're just gonna keep the pyramid there. And then we're gonna highlight whatever book I've recently read or I'm working on. Sextinction, just finished reading it. It's a really good book. Behind me over here, we got Unplugged Alpha. Definitely a must read. I tell folks you gotta want to read that, and if you're trying to become the best version of yourself and learn what's going on out here in this dating world. And I just completed Sextinction. Dr. Deborah So did a really good job on that. The first 3 or 4 chapters, pretty much all red pill talking points. Chapter 7 kind of gets weird when it talks about like sex dolls and sex robots are coming. But there's a part in there at the very end of chapter 7, like extremely weird, talking about the different sex dolls you could buy now and how they look and what they're resembling. Crazy. And then chapter 8 talks about the future of reproduction, women freezing their eggs and waiting longer to have kids and all that kind of stuff. So the book's worth the read. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. If you haven't gotten it, check it out. Sextinction on it's on, you can get it on Amazon. Good stuff, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. So yeah, man, we changed it up. I couldn't figure out how to get my airborne flag in here, but I will, maybe I'll be able to find a way to get some military stuff, man, some airborne stuff up here. I'm still looking. If I can find a statue or something like that, maybe I can find it. So yeah, it went away, man. We got Dusto in the building, man. Scam likely. What's happening? Doing this thing, making it happen, man. Shout out to Scam, man. He's out here living the dream, making, making things work. And proud of him, man. He's doing his thing, man. So yeah, man. So definitely want to stay away from these black pillars, bro. And Brother Michael Lee's talking about the wig helmet chicks. Yeah, you want to be careful with that too. But that's all a part of learning the game, getting out here, and you want to put yourself in a position as a guy that you get to ultimately choose the woman you're going to invest in for the long term, right? So how are you going to do that, man? You got to get out here. You got to get in the mix. You just can't sit in the basement or, sit in your bedroom, go online, go on Reddit, go into the Mano Swamp and watch videos and read books. That's not enough. Like the purpose of reading Unplugged Alpha and the purpose of reading like Aaron Clary, like the Book of Numbers, the purpose of reading Myron Gaines' book, Why Women Deserve Less, is to kind of give you an idea of what some situations or some type women you might face when you get out there and how to handle it. So you can read these books and you can, okay, I understand the concept now. You still got to go out there and engage. That's the big thing. You still have to go out and engage. And the black pill guys, they don't do that part. Their idea of engagement is jumping into these chats and saying all this negative stuff and making videos, or looks maxing, or sometimes they might learn pickup artistry. And I don't have a problem with that. If you're gonna learn pickup artistry, great, because that means you're gonna have to go out and use it. That encourages you or forces you to get out. So that's cool. And I've even got Mystery Method back here. I haven't read all of that. I read like a few chapters. To me, it was like, all right, it was very elementary to me, so I got it right away. But I'm gonna finish that book as well. I've read Mystery Method, man. I've seen Playing with Fire, and I've heard Alex and all of the, pickup artists doing their thing. The Dog Game, learning how to DM people, like how to slide in the DMs. All these different strategies they use. I've seen it. All right, cool. It's not to me, I don't really care what strategy you use, just so long as you're out there using something. Like go out there and get your, get your reps in. Go out here and learn how to talk, not just to women. I understand that's the ultimate goal, but get out here and just learn how to talk to people. Like so many of the black pillars, man, they don't know how to socialize, and that is a problem. And it's the fear of rejection that holds them back. And then they get in their feelings, they're all butthurt, and they say, they wind up like Chud the Builder. Yeah, that guy. That dude used to rock with, like on black platforms, trying to holler at content creators, hanging out with black people, trying to be cool, trying to rap, trying to dress a certain way. He was doing all that. And then he became Chud the Builder, which landed him in jail, right? He's probably going to wind up in prison behind what he did. And it comes out now, allegations that, he's rocking with lady boys. He's allegedly involved with a transsexual, a dude who identifies as a woman. Nothing wrong with that. If that's how you get down, that's how you get down. But that's not what he was presenting. I did a video on that. It should drop sometime tonight. I did a video talking about it. Like, bro, it's crazy work. But that's what's going on out here. And to me, Chud the Builder kind of went black pill. His black pill took him to an extreme that doesn't seem to really be him. This whole racist thing, this whole hate thing. And, when you're out here, bro, everything's filmed. You put yourself out here, man. It's just a matter of time before, you're who you really are, you catches up with you. And he's sitting in jail trying to figure out how you're going to get out of this situation. Meanwhile, out here in the real world, he's got his lady boy girlfriend or whatever you want to call him, giving up receipts and talking about how they did this, that, and the third. Is it true? Don't know. But I ain't gonna lie. From some of the things I've seen on Chud the Builder's, upbringing, I should say, or how he used to be out here in these streets, I tend to believe it. You know what I mean? You say, what kind of pill was Diddy taking? Diddy was on that weird old Superman pill. He was that I'm better than all y'all pill, bro. That's what he was on. Diddy was on something else, man. And then, yeah, bro, like this. And when you read Sextinction, and we're gonna probably on Wednesday or Thursday, we're gonna do an episode on Sextinction. I probably start with chapter 7 when they talk about, the future of reproduction, of dating, and what could happen here in America. Sex box, man, we've been talking about that over here for a minute. Yeah, the sex bot is a real thing, like the sex android. Just think about it. You're going to have basically a robot with synthetic skin, right? And would you believe it or not, in the book, they talked about how scientists are learning how to graft real skin, like grow real skin and they're gonna use real skin to cover these robots. That's crazy. Not the silicone thing, not the stuff that's, the rubber or whatever that looks like skin, but the real deal. That's insane. Um, but these robots are going to be powered by an AI mind. So can you imagine that? And right now, just to give you guys a preview, according to the people in that business in this book, Dr. Deborah was saying, like, yeah, they're close, like a generation away close. It's just they have these bots out here. It's just the movements aren't quite there. But once they figure out the movements and they can get these robots to be less robotic, you see what I'm saying? And they get them more like the way we move, bro, it's game over. Like, it's game over. Yeah, definitely Batty Boy business with Chud the Builder, bro. And like I said, if that's what you do, that's what you do. I ain't mad at you. You know what I mean? Hey, more power to you. You know what I'm saying? But that's not my world. They say that, man. They say we're living in the last days, but I think that every generation thinks that. You feel, you know what I mean? Like every couple centuries or so, people are like, oh, we're in the last days. And, we look at this and it's like, oh man, we could be, especially with AI, like AI could be it. Like we get a computer, like we get like a self-aware entity. Like we have the, what do they call that moment when the computer becomes self-aware and it just takes over if it wants to, right? It's once it's unplugged, it's out of the box and it can plug in everywhere. That creation becomes smarter than humans. Well, it's already smarter than humans, right? So the singularity is what they call it. So once you have the singularity, that happens. The human, the fate of the human species will be decided in nanoseconds once that happens. And if that AI decides humans need to go, then we're gone. We won't even know it. Or if that entity decides we're gonna make humans almost godlike, then that happens. So it won't be up to us. Like we create this thing gets loose, and at that point, we're just kind of along for the ride. But yeah, they talk about sex bots, man. It's like, just read. I'm telling you, man, this book is worth reading. Yeah, it's an easy read. It's not like crazy hard or anything like that, man. It's not that long, 8 chapters. And then she puts like an acknowledgments and notes in there. And every study that she brings up or cites or whatever, every experiment, everything is in that book. So if you're a person who's like really deep into the debating stuff and you want to debate red pill talking points, you're going to need this book as a reference because you can just pull it up. And here's the study that says, that, most women don't see most men. There's studies in there. It'll give you the exact numbers. It gives you declining birth rates. It gives you, when he talks about 1 in 3 men have gone without sex in the past year. It's like 1 in 5 women. It cites those studies. It talks about the economic impact. You guys, it's just, hey, you're gonna do it. If you're gonna have those debates, those in-depth conversations, this is the book you're gonna have to reference. But certainly, man, yeah, we could be in the last days, man. I mean, it's I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't taking no chip, no sir. Hey, no chip and no computer printout for 666. You ain't gonna get that. You ain't gonna get that on your forehead. You ain't gonna get it on your wrist. You know what I mean? No computer chip. Here's the thing. We could already have that inside of our brains and just don't know it. I mean, come on, man. Once we're born, they could have implanted anything. We don't know. I was in the military, ain't no telling what they did to me in the military. When they gave us injections, man, they could have injected us with all kind of nanotechnology, man. I don't know. It's crazy, but you're right, bro. We could be in the end times. So, we're definitely gonna look at some stuff, man. Like what the black pill philosophy teaches. I got a video keyed up here. It's some dude named Jack Gordon. Never watched his content, but he had a video I thought would be kind of cool for what we're talking about here. And I think his video is kind of going to touch on the black pill philosophy. And I've kind of touched on it as well. I'm not a black pillar, so I can't give you, the definitive definition of what the black pill is. And if you talk to dudes, you've talked to 10 guys in the black pill who self-identify as black pillars, they'll give you 10 different answers. And we even had a video from the Medium Man. He made some content talking about red pill, blue pill, black pill. It's different, like white pill, purple pill, all these other pills. But he did a thing about black pill. And I thought that video was good. We did that. We here on, I reacted to it, man, months ago. I think about 3 or 4 months ago. Maybe we'll go back and look, maybe we'll play that one more time because that's kind of give us an idea of the black pill stuff. And shout out to the media man, you know what I mean? Like Don DeMarco to him, because he does really good work. And he loves to go and get his numbers and get, he does really in-depth stuff. So he likes, and he'll cite his sources. So shout out to him. Why a defeatist mindset can hold men back. I used to think that was pretty much, that went without saying, but it's so many dudes who have this defeatist mindset, especially these younger guys. But there's all ages. And you know what I blame it on, guys? I blame it on everyone gets a trophy. I blame it on that, bro. I blame it on participation awards. It's every action has an equal and opposite reaction, and the reaction from telling these kids that they're perfect how they are and everyone's a winner and there are no losers, when they grow up and they get into the real world, they're not going to produce. I mean, I can remember as a kid in elementary school when they would tell us to line up to go to another class, or tell us to line up so we can go to recess or whatever. Man, we always wanted to be the first one in line. We would run. Especially the boys. It was mostly the boys, not really the girls so much. We would run and be grabbing and pushing each other and trying to get to the number one spot. We wanted to be in the front of the line. We wanted to be number one. And everything that we were doing, we wanted to be number one. If you got brothers, sisters, cousins about the same age, same thing. We raced everywhere. We wanted to be number one. I don't see that. I don't see that when I'm outside with little kids. First of all, you hardly ever see little kids. We were always outside. Of course, these little kids don't go outside today. And then when I am around kids, like in a school environment or something like that, or if like some day camp thing, they don't be running to be number one. They don't want to compete. And I think that's one of the biggest problems with, the black pill, right? It's the defeatist mindset. The importance of personal growth, confidence, and purpose. They don't have that. They're just like, accept me the way I am, period. If I am a failure, it's not my fault. It's your fault. That is the mindset. And if you're a black pillar and you're out there, correct me if I'm wrong. Jump in the chat. Let me know. Correct me if I am wrong. But that's these kids today. They're like, no, I don't have to do that. I don't have to do this. Someone's going to do it for me. Right. And, and if someone might be mommy and daddy, if it's not mommy and daddy, then it's going to be someone in society will come and do it for me. So, I mean, just think how many young men today can change a tire. Think about that. You got a problem with the tire, what do? Man, they AAA, you know what I mean? Or they call their insurance company because every insurance company comes with roadside assistance, right? Guys don't know how to change a tire, man. They don't know where to find the tire. Well, nowadays cars they don't even have spares. You know what I mean? They do run flats or whatever. These cars don't even have spares, but they don't know how to change a tire, man. They don't know how to use a jack. I remember the old school jacks when you had to take the crowbar and put it in, and the jack was long, you know what I mean? And, you had to crank it up like click, 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 click. You sitting there just cranking on that thing. Unlike the jacks today where you just kind of turn them and they just kind of, get bigger, you know what I mean? But I remember the old school jacks, man. They don't know how to take the lug nuts off, man. They don't know what the sequence on how to tighten them up. Like you put them on and how to tighten. They don't know any of these things, bro. They don't know how to change oil. I mean, and changing your brakes. I mean, I know that's more advanced, but they don't know how to do that. They don't know how to put oil in the car for those cars that allow you to put oil in them. A lot of cars don't let you do that. They don't know how to put windshield wiper in the windshield wiper reservoirs. They just don't know anything. And it's funny because we would give girls a hard time in my generation, like, man, they don't know how to do nothing, because that was like that was man work. That's what men's supposed to do. Women were in the kitchen cooking, they were cleaning, tending to the garden, like doing lady stuff, and the boys were out, doing man stuff, learning how to hunt, how to track stuff down, how to defend, how to fight, how to change the tire, change the oil, how to check the oil, right? We were doing that. And now, I think I was out talking to some friends one night. it was, pretty even group, men and women. And I was asking this, kind of saying the same thing, like, man, who knows how to change a tire? And the dudes were kind of looking at each other and the girls were raising their hand because their dads showed them how to change the tire. And the reason being, I don't want you to be stuck somewhere with no cell phone coverage with a flat tire and you don't know what to do. And all you got to do is get out there and change the tire, which I was like, oh, but the dudes, I guess it's okay for them to be stuck, which is, kind of crazy, you know? What am I doing here? Let's catch up with the chat real quick. Brother Mike was like, I'm not red or black pill, but some of the beliefs in both, I believe in them to a certain extent. Yeah, me too. Yeah, man. My thing is, I'm good with all information, and I'll take the good information and leave the bad. You know what I mean? Eat the meat, leave the bones. That's where I am with it. And so I rock in the meadow swamp. I came out like I'm trying to help people. So in my opinion, that kind of puts me in a red pill space because I really do want to help men. Um, but I'm not one of these hardcore red pillars. And I bump into people who are like, yeah, I was in the movement back when it was the men's rights activists, the MRAs, and I know the people who started, and I was here when it first started, and da. I'm like, man, that's all cool and everything. I'm glad you were there, but you know what I'm saying? I'm not here to discuss that. I'm here to discuss what's going on right now in these trenches. I'm trying to help these dudes figure out what they're doing wrong, correct it, and then find some success. That's what I'm trying to do. I mean, that's cool you're around day one, but I mean, that doesn't help. Like it doesn't help. You know what I'm saying? I got my brother Frances in the building. What's happening, fam? Like Black Pill, heard of it. To me, it's too many titles, labels, and subtitles these days. In my opinion, it separates people further apart, and it doesn't. You're right, 100%. That's the first thing I noticed when I came into the mental swamp. You start, oh, okay, red pill. Oh, we're gonna, like the Matrix. We're gonna, either take the red pill or the blue pill. They all made sense to me. You got certain type people who are just happy with the way it is, and they want to keep their head buried in the sand. They want to stay in the Matrix, and just go back to their regular life. The blue pill, then the red pill. Like you take the red pill and see how deep the rabbit hole goes. You take the red pill and you see what's really going on. No more, take the blinders off, man. Get your head up out the sand and see what's going on. So I'm like, I was cool with that. All right, that made sense. I get that. But then you get into all these different colors, and I've even had conversations with people. I'm just kind of shaking my head like, well, I'm more purple pill because blah, 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 blah. I know I'm more gray pill because blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm more white pill because I'm like, look, bro. And what I've noticed is the guys who really dig down, they drill down on these distinctions. That's all they focus on. They focus on the distinctions. They focus on new acronyms. They focus on like this whole vernacular that's sprung up around this world. They focus on everything except for the mission being become the best version of yourself. They focus on everything but that. Right? They focus, and I'm telling these guys, like I listen to what they have to say, and I'm like, all right, so what does all that got to do with you not being able to get on with that chick over there? I'm trying to get you into a position where you can get on with her. I mean, let me help you, win that match. You and her. Just get your, get her to see you. Teach you how to have a conversation with her. Teach you how to assess what she's got going on, looking for her red flags, looking for things that, aren't quite kosher with you. And then decide, what? She seems cool. Let me take her out. And then, okay, you ready to take her out? Let's talk about what your first date should be, what the first date should look like, how much money you should spend. When can you tell when a woman is just trying to run your pockets versus a woman who's really into you? These are the things I want to work on. I don't care what you call it, right? Call it whatever you want to call it, man. You can call it Susan if it pleases you. I don't care, right? But learn these things. Get better. You need to understand as a dude, yeah, you're going to be looked at as a provider and a protector. You don't have to get some bread. And if you can't fight that well, but you can earn a whole lot of money, you're smart, and you can pay for protection, that works. The woman will be cool with that. You'll be cool with that, but you can't be broke and can't fight. And she's like, well, why am I around? Like, if you know what I mean? Like you have to bring some sort of value add, just like she has to bring some sort of value add. And then it's like I said, man, it's one-on-one, bro. It's one-on-one. You trying to score, you trying to win, she trying to score, she trying to get what she want. She trying to back you down into the paint, post you up. You trying to, bring her out to show your mid-range game or go out to some threes, hit that. But y'all going at it. Y'all trying to figure it out. That's what I'm here for. Like when I talk to these dudes, I'm like, bro, I don't really care about all that other stuff, man. All these terms and what conference you went to and who you were talking to and all that. I don't care about none of that, bro. That doesn't help these young dudes and these older guys who have no game get the game that they need. Right. And then they fall into they fall into this subcategory, this black pill thing. And like I said, they gave up. You're a black pillar, you just gave up and you want to talk about it. You want to bitch and moan about it. That's how I look at it. You just gave up, son. Like, well, I'm on if you want to quit, quit. Did I have that? I do have that. When I get guys that want to quit, this is what I tell them, man. I got to update my sound bank. I'm gonna have to reorganize all this, but when you want to quit, this is what I say.
Hey, up and over, up and over. Well, what in the fuck are you waiting for, Private Pile? Get up and over. Move it, move it, move it. Are you quitting on me? Well, are you? Then quit.
That's me. Are you quitting on me, Private Pal? Well, are you? Well, then quit. I will motivate you. If you want to get better, I can help you get better. But that's my thing, man. That's where I am. That's what, if you want to quit, quit. And the black pillars are quitters to me. And if you're out here trying to get out here and you trying to become the best version of yourself, you need to put distance between you and the black pillars. So let's that's what it is, man. And why men should build a life they enjoy instead of defending themselves by dating success. So, or defining themselves. I'm sorry. So why men should build a life that they enjoy instead of defining themselves by dating success is one of the things that I also tell guys. It's like, look, when you build a life with things that you enjoy and you become good at things and you become good at something, like you say really good at something, that's going to bring women to you. That's going to bring women to you. And it doesn't matter how many dates you've been on. It doesn't matter how many, women you got in the rotation, none of that. If that's not your thing, that's not your thing. Because a lot of the guys are telling me, like, when it's all said and done, we just kind of kicking it off into the side, like we like at a conference or we're somewhere, some meetup, some big meetup, and they get an opportunity to catch me, by myself. And they're like, yo, real talk, man, real talk, Saint. Man, I ain't trying to be a player. Man, I'm not trying to be out there having, 6, 7, 8, 10 women in my rotation. I don't want to do all that, man. I just want one girl. Right. And they're like whispering that to me, looking around as if they done something wrong. It's like, look, man, I work hard. I mean, I'm in the gym now. I got it together, bro. I used to be fat. I'm good now. I got my fashion sense down. I've been out. I be talking shit just like you say, Unc. I be ABTS and man, I always talking shit when I'm out. So I know how to be charming. I know how to have these conversations. I didn't know how to do all that, man. It's taking me years to figure this out. I'm figuring it out. I'm there, but I just don't want to have all these women. I'm not trying to bang all these chicks. Like, I know Myron says you should have sex with 50 women, but I don't want to do that. I'm like, man, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You get out here, you get yourself together. You identified where you were lacking and you fixed it, right? Then you went out there and forced yourself to be social, that's a huge win right there. And that's hard. Fellas, that's more than a third of the battle right there. Just getting out there around people. You put yourself out there, right? You've dealt with rejection. You realize it's not the end of the world if some girl turns you down or shoots you down. You figured that out. That's still good. You're getting your money right and you're good at something. Like you're really good. Maybe you're a promoter. Maybe you're an electrician. Maybe you're an accountant. Whatever it is, you're good at it. Right? That's all you really need. Now, sit back and wait for the women to come holler at you, right? You don't have to run a rotation. You don't need to bang 50 chicks. I will argue that you need some sexual experience. I don't think you need, maybe you don't need 50, but, maybe you need a handful just so you can understand what needs to happen next in the bedroom. That's up to you, right? You might need that experience. It's twofold. You want to be able to please the woman that you meet because sex is important. And second, you want to see how experienced she is. So you can kind of add that into your calculation. Like, yo, little shorty is going wild with this. She's doing all this stuff. Like, yo, obviously she has more experience than you. You know what I mean? So that's something that you can put into your calculation. So it is better to define yourself by being good at whatever you are, like, being a leader, getting out here and making a name for yourself than it is by defining yourself by dating success. Right? Because anybody can go out here and run a rotation. Anybody can go out here and smash these chicks. But if your mission, if your goal is to find a significant other, find a woman that's a good woman that will be a good wife, then that's all you need to be. That's your mission. That's all you need to focus on. Focus on that. Right? Focus on that. Let that be your mission. Don't let someone else give you a secondary mission that you don't want to do. Right? And I had this conversation with these type dudes, man, and they're like, oh, you know what I mean? Big sigh of relief. Like, oh, I thought I was going to have to go out here and bang all these chicks. I thought I have to have these rotations. Like, no, you don't have to do that. Right? Stay social. Pay attention to what's going on. Be on the lookout for red flags. Right? And the number one thing, protect your emotions. Don't let your emotions out too soon. Remember, you're going to have to vet. And that vetting process, in my opinion, should take 2 years. Some people say it should be less than that, but it's up to you as an individual. You set the time limit. It's really hard to fool somebody for 2 years, though, gentlemen. Here to tell you, it's hard to do it. Vet for 2 years. And then at the end of that 2-year time period, if she's the one that you want, then you got a decision to make. Okay, she's made it through the process and all these other things. She's been there. She's adding value. We work well together. We click. We have a lot of stuff in common. Okay, I'm going to go and I want this woman to be my wife, right? And go ahead and start allowing yourself to feel for it. But, you always want to be careful, man, because the emotions, man, that clouds everyone's judgment, man. Emotions are smoke. That's like smoke on the on the drop zone, man. That's smoke during a firefight. It's hard to see through it. Once you let your emotions out, it's hard to see through it. So, but you're in the game and you don't have to go out here, and be this super duper womanizing cat. You don't have to do that. If you want to do it, go ahead. If you want to get your 50 bodies, go ahead. 100 bodies, wherever it may be. That's what you want to do. There's some guys out there who do enjoy that. They just want to run through a bunch of women. That's what you want to do, fine. Just make sure you're paying attention and you're learning as you go. If you don't want to do that, if that goes against your moral code, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's my red pill message, right? That's what I'm doing out here in these red pill streets. The black pillars, they're not doing that, man. They're not doing that. So I think we should have a look at this video I got queued up. Again, it's from this guy named Jack Gordon. Never watched any of his content. I watched maybe a minute and a half or so of this video we're about to watch now. I don't think he's too hard black pill, but it didn't seem like that in the opening minutes of this video, but we're going to check it out. And Frances is like, bro, it's crazy. We were having these conversations as children. I guess we were wise beyond our years, but our parents were different than most. And we listened. Scientifically proved. Oh yeah. And we listened. Yes. So that's the first one. And you're right, bro. We came up, man. We're teenagers or whatever in the 80s. Yeah. We had these conversations when we were growing up in our hood. We were doing what we were doing. Now, does that mean that everyone in Cincinnati or everyone in the Midwest were having these conversations? We don't know. Everyone we knew did. And I can assume that if we talking about this in Avondale, they talking about it in the Bond Hill, Kennedy Heights, the Fay, you know what I mean? Moosewood, Millville, Winton Terrace, you know what I mean? They talking about it everywhere. Madisonville, but out in the suburbs, back then when the suburbs was where all the wealthy people were, I don't know if they were having the conversations out there. We weren't in the suburbs. We were in the city. Right. So, yeah, we were having these conversations as kids, man, in elementary school, middle school, high school. We were having these conversations. And we were talking about a whole bunch of stuff, but we were definitely having these conversations. And then Brother Frances is saying it's been scientifically proven a person can hide themselves for around 2 months and that's it. Word. And all you need to do is apply some pressure. When under pressure, people revert back to core nature. 2 months, huh? I need to read that. I haven't read that. But because I know some people who can fool you. I've seen people not reveal themselves for like over a year and a half. But we, you weren't with them every single day. But especially in Hollywood, man. I mean, people in Hollywood get paid to be someone else, and they're so good at it. So, but that's what's up, man. I appreciate that, bro. I'm definitely gonna have to look that up. Scientifically proven. 2 months, only 2 months. Um, but yeah, I know people that can. I mean, shoot, bro, it might take 6 months for them to shoot a movie, and there's somebody else for 6 months, and like they're like living that character, like they're doing old school. They're not coming out of character. They're just living the character throughout the whole shoot. I've seen that. Um, but yeah, I mean that's what makes Hollywood Hollywood, I guess. So let's check out this video, man. Let's pull this up. And this video is titled "What is the Black Pill?" So, and I think that's kind of, you know, right where we are right now. I mean, I'm kind of curious to hear what he has to say. And we'll probably be pulling up more of his content. I kind of looked at some of his videos, some of the titles of his videos, and it's like, yeah, this dude is definitely conservative and, probably closer to the fringes than he is to the center. But, I could be wrong. Let's see. Let's check this out.
The black pill.
Cool.
It's not depression. It's not nihilism. It's something a little weirder, and you definitely won't understand it if you're a boomer. It's the black pill. If you're online, you know what I'm talking about. And if you're plugged into any undercurrent of male spaces on internet forums, comment sections show guys that congregate with a sense of their lives that you've never seen before. The black pill is this. It's a fatalistic acceptance that certain hierarchies are biological, immutable, and rigged against you from birth. And that your value as a man, especially your romantic and social value, is largely determined by factors outside of your control. Your height, your bone structure, your genetic lottery ticket. And once you see the world, once you accept this framing as truth, everything else starts to feel like hope, like delusion, like the motivational posters lying to you of headers, which everyone who tells you to just dark, but it's spreading. The thing I want.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. That's bleak. That is dark. Right. And that is what they believe. Wheat Waffles was on that, like, oh, it's all about how you look, and you have to look a different way. I mean, Wheat Waffles was making a ton of money, getting all kind of views and all that with his content, and then he stopped doing his content. I guess his parents finally found out what he was doing. I think he said his mom made him stop, but he was making money. People would send him photos of themselves, and he would rate them and tell them like, oh yeah, you are, this is where you are looks wise. So you're like a Chad or a Giga Chad, or you're like a whatever they call the dudes at the bottom. He was getting paid, bro. He was getting paid. Like, just send your picture, and he's talking about how your chin look, your bone structure, how far apart your eyes are, like just all kind of stuff. And then he would give suggestions like, oh, maybe you should get a beard, maybe you should do this, maybe you should do that, maybe you should get hair plugs, maybe you should. And then Looks Maxing came along. So you do have a bunch of guys, and I think the draw to the black pill is this. First of all, it's an excuse for them for not trying, right? And they can get in there and be mad and just, blame everyone for their shortcomings and for their failures. And secondly, it's easy, right? Because what other people in the space, like the red pill space or other corners of the Mano swamp, what these guys are, people like me, are pushing is hard work. Like, bro, it's hard work. You're gonna have to do this. You're gonna have to get in there. You're gonna have to. It's gonna hurt, right? We're just we're just showing you a life of pain. But once you're done, you'll know what you're doing, and on the other side of this, you're gonna be top tier, high value, right? And for someone like me who came up the way we came up, friends, he has to tell you, man, it wasn't easy growing up the way we grew up. The stuff that we saw, the things that we did. Then I joined the military. I didn't want to just be a soldier. I wanted to be a paratrooper. I knew that was going to be hard. I'm asking for it. I wanted to smoke. So for me, it doesn't make sense to deal with people who want to quit, who are just quitters, who never even tried. And that's, to me, the black pill. And you saw all those things that they named. This is why you should never do it, the nihilism and all that, the defeatism. You saw all that, which is crazy. Let's keep going.
To explore is, where's the truth? Is this trauma disguised as insight? Or maybe more importantly, what does this emergence tell us about the world that we've built? What it feels like to be a young man trying to navigate a sexual marketplace that's been gamified, quantified, and rendered. The black pill didn't come. It's a predictable offspring of several cultural forces colliding at once. You've got dating apps that are turning human connection into swipe-based markets, and social media that broadcasts a highlight reel to dudes that are sitting alone in their room. All while we have an increasingly atomized society with no community and young Evo psych that's really flooding the internet, telling you that women are biologically wired to select for height, dominance, markers, and genetic fitness, that hypergamy is real, and that the top 20% of men get 80% of female attention. That is true. That is totally true. And it is bitter. But men with spreadsheets cherry-picking data to their despair is not really what matters. A 19-year-old guy who's making a match to save your life. Or when you watch your female friends complain about being overwhelmed with attention while you are invisible. Or when every piece of media tells us that our worth as men is tied to our ability to attract women. When we are failing at the one metric society says matters. The black pill is what happens when social Darwinism gets filtered through TikTok and dating apps and algorithmically amplified despair. It's really just modern.
Wow. That's okay. I can see that. I can see that. I can see that. Right. These guys, because the world has gone it's all technical now. They don't go outside. They don't know how to interact with folks. We were forced to interact with folks, Gen Xers and then the older millennials. They grew up like us, and the baby boomers and everybody before us. We had to go outside. These new kids, they don't have to go outside. So I can see that. And it's funny when I talk to these dudes, a lot of guys are like, hey man, you say you do coaching. I'm really interested in coaching. So how do we do it? It's just like, FaceTime, is it Zoom? How does it work? I'm like, bro, you got to come outside. That's how it works. I'm not doing it. I'm not coaching you over the phone. I'm not coaching you over FaceTime. You got to come outside. You can come down here to Florida, like Tampa or Miami or Fort Lauderdale, wherever you want to go, or I can come to you. Where are you? Right. So this is how we work this out. And your fees are going to be based on that. Like, bro, a lot of these guys, I'm like, it'll be easier for you to come to Tampa or meet me in Miami because you don't have to worry about paying for my travel. It's so much. You just come out here. Plus it gets you away from where you are. And we can start here. And you take them outside. And then they, a lot of times when I talk to these dudes, I'll take them out. We get to the end of a 2-day, coaching package. We're coming up on the end, and I'll say, hey man, how you feeling about yourself? They're like, man, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm like, why do you, what's changed? What do you like about this? What you don't like? It's like, well, it sucks being, it still sucks to hear no, it sucks when a girl shoots you down. But, if I went out, we went out last night, man, I talked to 15 girls and 7 of them gave me their Instagram. And they just feel good about themselves. I'm like, man, 7. Like, I'll be online swiping. I could do thousands of swipes before I even get a girl that would even, DM me or let me talk back and forth to her. So it's like, man, this is cool. I'm like, yeah, because you're in the real world. Like, we're in the real world, bro. Like that online stuff ain't the real world. She's getting hit up with all sorts of validation and all sorts of stuff. So you have to stay in the real world. And he's like, man, I like this. I like this. And they get better. They get better. And normally like a weekend session like that, man, they show up on a Thursday night. By Sunday, when they're jumping on the plane to go back home, they're good to go. They get it. They see it. It's like, man, I've been out, we talk about all sorts of stuff. They get to see for themselves that, yeah, the 8, 9s, and 10s are easier to approach in certain environments because no one's approaching them. Everyone's afraid to talk to them. And the girls are sitting around like, well, how come no one's talked to me? And they're like, bro, I didn't realize that. I heard people talk about it, but I thought that was, they were gaslighting. I'm like, no, bro. Those women are easier to talk to. Right? It's the, it's the 4, 5, 6s, and 7s are the hardest ones to talk to. They're the hardest ones, right? Those are the ones that give you the most drama. They have the most attitude. And they're like, well, why is that? Because they know they're not that attractive, bro. They know that they're average at best. They know it, right? But they still get so much attention, and they just kind of like to give you the grief because you're not the handsome dude that they want coming up talking to them. They want that dude over there, but he ain't trying to holler at them. And, so she's got to, take you. Like, she feels she's settling. And that's part of it. I tell them all the time, like, that's part of it. They're like, oh man, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. And then I get them just kind of used to just machine gunning, bro. Like, yo, just machine gun. Go out here, man. Get some, baby. Get some.
Get some! Get some!
You just machine gunning. And, the results are going to be way better in person than they are online. So I can see why these black pillars, they get the doom and gloom. Right. And Brother Franchise, you're right, man. Same thing with my little girl, man. Same thing. It's all about boundaries. It's all about watching how they act. And this is something you got to teach kids. This is something we learned right away. Again, because we were out, but online is different. But yeah, man, same thing. Let's continue.
Modern men looking at the modern sexual marketplace and saying, I'm losing, and there's nothing I can do about it. Here's the weird part. This isn't new, at least to Arthur Schopenhauer, the 19th century German philosopher who was black-pilled before the internet. Philosophy was built upon the idea that life is suffering and that existence itself is a cruel joke. The will, which is a blind, insatiable drive that animates all life, is perpetually dissatisfied and perpetually chasing things that can't fulfill us. He believed that reproduction was the ultimate trap. Sexual desire was nature's way of extending us to the species. You saw through the illusion and you realized romantic love was just biology manipulating you into making babies, you'd be horrified. Sounds like you got black-pilled. So Schopenhauer thought the only escape was aesthetic contemplation and ascetic withdrawal, to transcend the will by ceasing to want anything. The black pillars are saying something similar, just with memes and jargon and forums. They're saying the game is rigged, desire is suffering, and the only way out is to stop playing or to win the game. But here's where it gets interesting and where they diverge from Schopenhauer. He thought deeply about art and music and philosophy, and he found meaning in understanding suffering, even though he couldn't escape it. The black pillars, not all of them, by contrast, marinate in despair. It's their identity, and there's communities around reinforcing hopelessness. And that's where it stops being philosophy and starts being pathology. But I'm not trying to harp on them. The black pill is what happens when you take Darwinian selection and Freudian determinism and mash them together into a worldview. Darwin says traits that improve reproductive fitness get passed on, and traits that hinder it die out. So you are the product of millions of years of sexual selection, and that process is brutal, amoral, and efficient. Freud says you're being driven by unconscious forces. Your desires, your insecurities, your experience of self, and your biology forms you in ways you can't control or escape. You put those together, you're a meat puppet controlled by genes and neurosis, and most of what you think is you is just biology pulling strings. So if you're a young guy who's struggling socially, romantically, economically, that framework can feel like relief because it removes your own agency. It says it's not your fault that you were born into the wrong body, like a trans person, and that it was rigged from the start. But the trap of biological determinism is partially true. Genes matter, biology matters, but they're one input. They set the parameters, but they don't write your whole story. The black pill takes truth, that biology equals outcome, and turns it into full truth that determines outcomes, and says that effort is pointless and that self-improvement is cope. So once you accept that, you've locked yourself into a prison of your own making. But here's what I find fascinating. Even within black pill communities, there's a contradictory impulse towards action. Looks maxing, mewing, bone smashing, all of these absurd, borderline self-destructive practices are aimed at improving physical appearance. On the surface, it contradicts the black pill's fatalism. It's striving. If everything's determined by genetics, why bother? But I think what's happening is this. Looks maxing is the aesthetic expression of the will to survive. It's saying, okay, fine, the game is rigged, but I'm going to squeeze every advantage I can out of the hand I was dealt. It's tragic in the very classical sense. It's Sisyphus pushing the boulder. It's the Stoics accepting fate, but acting with excellence anyway. Because here's the thing about the ancient Stoics. They were black-pilled. They believed in determinism. They believed that fate was already written, that the universe was in a logic, and that most of what happened to you was outside of your control. Their response was, control what you can control, find your character and respond to your circumstances, accept what you can't change, and work excellently within those constraints. The black pillars will quote Stoic philosophy all the time, but they might miss the parts where Stoics did things. They wrote for public office. They wrote philosophy, trained their bodies, and cultivated virtues. They were pessimistic about external outcomes, yes, but optimistic about internal development. Black pillars are just pessimistic about everything, when really they should be striving. And then there's
Yo, I just want to pause it right there, man. Dude's cooking. Dude is cooking. And that's one of the things I have found when I do my little research or whatever. Like, ain't none of this new. This has always been the case. Only thing that's changed is technology, man. The technology that we're all trapped in has changed. And it makes it seem like this is brand new. This is overwhelming. Like what Brother Michael Lee was saying, man, we're in the end times. Maybe, or maybe not. Right? Maybe not. I'm the guy that's like, hey man, try anyway. That's me. And I'm out here to help you guys. Try anyway. Right? If you're watching Black Pill content, it's just a matter of time before you stumble onto some content like mine, some Red Pill content like mine, or maybe Rich Cooper, or maybe Michael Sertain. You know what I mean? Maybe you'll stumble across Lucario, A Dose of Game, which is it's an excellent platform. You should check them out, A Dose of Game. And then begin to try anyway.
Nietzsche. Oh man, you guys love or hate Nietzsche, but you quote him constantly.
Nietzsche.
When we post about his aphorisms about power and hierarchy and the herd, we're kind of misunderstanding him. Nietzsche hated pessimism. He hated Schopenhauer's life-denying philosophy, and he thought Buddhism and Christianity were slave ideologies because they devalued this life in favor of escape or transcendence. Nietzsche's whole project was about saying yes to life, about embracing struggle and becoming stronger through this suffering. It's really about creating meaning in a meaningless universe. Then he introduced the concept of the Übermensch, the person who overcomes themselves, who creates their own values, who refuses to be crushed by nihilism or despair. So much so, he's a new species. And the Black Pillars read Nietzsche and think, see, he agrees that the world is harsh, hierarchical, and unfair. But if you stop there, you miss the part where Nietzsche says, so what? Become stronger. Forge yourself into something that can thrive in the harsh world. Stop whining about the hand you were dealt and play brilliantly. Nietzsche probably would have despised the Black Pill. He would have seen it as exactly the kind of life-denying, resentment-soaked ideology he spent his career dismantling from Schopenhauer, even though he loved him. So what is the Black Pill really? I think it's a postmodern tragedy. In classical tragedy, the hero is brought down by fate or by flaw in their character, but there's nobility in the struggle. There's catharsis. There's meaning in his suffering. In a postmodern tragedy, there's no nobility. There's no catharsis. It's just the cold recognition of significance in an indifferent universe. Black Pill is the worldview aware of his own importance. He's seen behind the curtain and realized that most of what he was told about meritocracy and fairness and just be yourself was a lie. And that awareness, that's real. That's legitimate. The world is more unfair than we were told. Biology does matter more than we'd like to admit. And the meritocracy particularly is a myth. But the question is, what will you do with your awareness? Will you let it consume you? Or will you build an identity of bitterness and fatalism? Or do you use it as a starting point, as the foundation for building something more honest, more resilient, and more real? Because here's the thing. To understand the Black Pill is to begin transcending it. The first step to seeing the world clearly is acknowledging the harshness, the unfairness, the biological and social realities that shape outcomes. The second step is refusing to let awareness become your identity, because awareness alone is passive. Awareness without action turns into rumination, into obsession, into the kind of self-reinforcing despair spiral that Black Pill communities thrive on. You have to take that insight, that recognition that life is harder than you were told and it's unfair, and alchemize it into fuel. Accept the constraints, work within them, and focus on variables you can influence: your skills, your health, your character, and your ability to create value in the world. Stop comparing yourself to the genetic lottery winners and start building the best version of your life. Not the life that Instagram tells you to want, not the life that maximizes female attention. They don't matter. The life that feels true and meaningful and yours. The Stoics knew this. Nietzsche knew this. And every philosophy that's worth anything knows this. Fate is real. Genetics are real, and constraints are real, but so is your agency, and so is will, and so is your will to endure and find pockets of meaning in the harshest conditions. The Black explanation, it makes sense of your pain, and it's true, but the moment you mistake it for the whole truth, the moment you let it define you, you've given up. You've traded one set of lies, everything is fair, and just work hard and you'll succeed. The Blue Pill for another set of lies, everything is determined, effort is pointless, and you're doomed. The Black Pill, the truth is messier, it's harder. And yes, but you do agencies. Hierarchies are real, but you can go for how you respond. The Black Pill is a mirror. It will show you the reality of the world, but you're not supposed to stare into a mirror here forever. You're supposed to see what's there and then turn around and build something. Awareness must turn thinking.
Yo, man, we gotta get do to Don Marco, man. Gotta give him that. That's fire, man. And when I'm looking at this dude, I'm looking at the background at his place, man. Let's move this back a little bit. I'm looking at the
Black pill
background.
communities.
My bad. I put that on mute. I'm looking at his background, and this dude right here, if I had to guess, I would say this dude right here is living in Cali, somewhere in California. And why am I saying that? Well, you know, we see the surfboard on the wall, we see the guitar. I'm looking at the furnishings, you know what I mean? Like this, you know, the furnishings look like the sofas and all that might be secondhand with some covers on. I'm looking at the colors, you know, I'm looking at the window. You know, I'm looking at his paintings on the wall. I'm thinking this dude's a California cat. Thinking he's a California cat. It may be Manhattan Beach, maybe Santa Monica, you know what I mean? Maybe down in San Diego, right? Maybe up in NorCal. But I'm thinking he's a California cat. Looking at his hairdo, you know, he definitely got dressed up for the platform. He's like, you know, gotten into character. I think this dude is in Cali. And, you know, a lot of people say, oh, it's probably like some blue pill California dude. Like, nah, this is a guy who out here slaying chicks. Right? This is a dude bringing women through he's bringing women through. His place is neat. It's tidy, right? He's got it together. He knows what he's talking about. This is a guy who maybe he was on the blue pill side for a while. Maybe he was out there getting stuck in the friend zone and all that. And he's like, you know what? I'm sick of this. You know what I mean? Got out there, learned how to surf, probably got a skateboard in the house somewhere. Like, this is a dude who's out here, they getting it. You just tell he's fit. Like, this is a dude who's like, yeah, he done been out here in these trenches. He done took some L's and then had some wins. Right. And this is the kind of guy you need to be if you're a black pillar. You need to mimic this dude. You got to get out here and take your losses and figure it out, like he's saying. Right. Remember, I'm always talking about being good at something. Maybe this dude can surf. Maybe he's pretty good at surfing. That's enough. You're gonna meet some women on the beach, bro. All the women love surfers, bro. They love them. Right. The guy got a guitar, man. Guy plays the guitar. Maybe he's good at that. Maybe he's in a band. Rollo Tomasi was in a band when Rollo was dude's age. Rollo was out there with groupies and everything. Right? This is how you got to be. Don't be a black pillar and go out here and it's all doom and gloom and, you know, there's nothing we can do to win. We're all going to, you know what I mean? It's all over. The sky's falling. Don't be the black pillar. Right? Get over that. Push forward. Right? Like you said, play the best hand that you can with what you were dealt. Play it beautifully. Get out here and get after it, bro. That's what you got to do. Get out here and get after it. And I really enjoyed that video, man. Shout out to him. Let's give him one more down to Marco, man. I enjoyed it. I had no idea what it was going to be. I had no idea. I'm going to watch some more of his content. We're definitely going to react to some more stuff. I think he has like 10,000 subscribers or something, man. I think I'm going to try to reach out to dude and just talk to him. You know, just get a background. But, you know, he has some political stuff on there too. So I'm going to have to watch some of his content and see what he's on before I holler at him. I don't want to talk to him. And the guy's like, you know, I really don't talk to black people. I don't think that's the case, but it could be. I don't know, man. That's the green screen. Oh, man. What's up, Cody is King in the building, man? That just shot everything down, man. Shot everything down. That's the green screen. Oh, man. Look at Cody. Like, yeah, he's like, just give up. You know what I mean? Hey, bro. Like, it is what it is, man. It's going to be hard to get, you know, speaking of what's going on in the Middle East, it's going to be really hard to get young Americans to go to the Middle East. It's going to be really hard. Trump backed himself into a corner. He doesn't know what to do. I think up in Canada, man, y'all about to start making some moves. I think America's, you know, going to lose her allies until 2028. People are just tired of dealing with Trump. I mean, it's a mess. Americans are not going to, I mean, even if your parent is like, yeah, you should join the military and go fight over there for a country that we don't own, like we ain't got nothing to do with Israel. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a hard sell. And even if you institute a draft, you got people who they're not going to do it. They're not gonna do it. Yeah, Trump's worked himself into it, man. But I'm talking all this madness, man. That's a green screen, bro. And that's a shame, man. Cause I'm thinking like, dude, he all right. You gonna have some chicks coming through there, women to come in there straight from the beach or whatever, and plop down and want to do what they do. You know what I'm saying? Get some skins or whatever. Damn, that's a green screen. Oh man. So anyway, that's what's up with the black pill, man. I still enjoyed the video. I think dude he's on to something. I agree with him. If you're a black pill and you out here listening to this, man, it ain't too late, bro. Just let all that go. There's nothing. It's not like anyone lied to you. It's not like you're wrong. The stats are the stats. It is what it is. But like I tell people all the time, if women are only interested in the top 20% of men, then you need to drag yourself from the bottom 80 up to the top 20. That's all you got to do. And you don't have to be 6 feet, 6 figures with a six pack, you know what I mean? Or 6-inch, you know what I mean, dick, which is hilarious. In that book, they talk about that. It's like the average dude thinks he needs 7 inches. Whereas the average woman says 6 inches, but the actual average size is 5 inches in North America, which is kind of crazy. I don't know about all that, man, because mine bigger, but hey, it is what it is. All of us can't be endowed. but it's just kind of crazy that the way men are thinking, the women are thinking like, a little bit more would be nice. Men are thinking, I need way more, but the real average is like way smaller. It was Chris Williamson made this comment when he was interviewing Dr. So he was like, hey, if a woman really saw, you know what I'm saying, a package like that, she would run away. I thought it was hilarious. And he has a point there. It's if the average is 5, bro, like you're not gonna be running across 6 and 7 all the time if you're a woman, no matter how many dudes you smashing. You got to go to the adult film world to get into that. But this is what dudes are thinking, and they're getting plastic surgery, man. They're getting plastic surgeries on their penis, man, to make their penis wider, bro. They're getting fillers in their dick. That is insane. If you're a black pill and you thinking you about to do that, man, you don't. That is insane. Take that money and join the gym. Just work out, man. Buy yourself some nice clothes. You don't need all that, bro. And by the time you smash anyway, if you got charm, you got game, you know what you're doing. By the time you smash, even if you coming up short, as the sisters used to say where I grew up, even if you coming up short, you done already hit. So what? So who cares? You done already smashed, bro. You out of there. You out of there. Oh, you messing around with the screen? All right, cool, man. I'm like, damn, Cody, man, he knows something I don't know. So that is dude's crib. All right. That is dude's crib. So yeah. And gentlemen, if you live by yourself or if you got roommates, that's how you want your crib to look. Again, dude's crib is nice, is needy, is tidy. A woman walks in there, she's going to be comfortable. She is going to be instantly comfortable. This is how you want your crib to look, bro. If you out here and you single, this is how you want your crib to look all the time, because you never know you're going to bring a shorty back. You might be at the local bar, you might be at the local taco stand, or you might was out surfing or whatever, and you headed home and you see some woman, you strike up a conversation and she's like, yeah, do you live around here? Because, bro, they do ask that question. Like, well, yeah, I just live a couple blocks away. Oh, you mind if I just hang out for a while? I'm just waiting on my friend to pick me up. I'm like, you got Uber, but sure, you can come over. Definitely put cameras in your crib, wire it up for video and audio, because, sometimes, it can happen. A woman can claim that you did something that you didn't do. So make sure you wire it up. But you want your place neat. You want your place neat and nice. You want it to where when women come over, they're instantly comfortable. And you will see it, man. They'll come in, slip their shoes off, man, take off their hoodie, plop down on the sofa and just curl up instantly. They might even curl up with you. And one of the things I would suggest, we'll do a show on this. On your sofa, make sure you have like a real nice throw cover or something like that. I have one that's like a fake mink kind of thing. You buy them on Amazon for like $20. And, women will just grab. I've always had that. Women will just grab that up because it's nice and soft and, furry, and they'll wrap themselves up in it, and then they'll just plant themselves right up under you. And it's like, wow, I just met this shorty 3 hours ago, and she's comfortable right up under me. We're watching TV and having a good conversation. And again, If you're a black pillar, you've never experienced that, and you never will if you're a black pillar, because you don't know how to get there. Right? You don't know how to have the conversation. You don't know how to make the approach. You don't know how to not look creepy, right? You don't know how to, all you know as a black pillar is how to put your foot in your mouth. These are the things you got to fix. You fix it, and then guess what? You'll go out and you'll start meeting folks. And it could be something as simple as just being good, man. Be good at something that you do, man. And here's what it is. Lost in Translations in the building, man. What's happening, fam? Glad you could jump on here, man. We're over here talking about the black pill mentality, man. I'm trying to get guys to come away from that. I'm trying to get guys, like, again, your house is nice and neat, like dude's house. You got the TV on. Everything is looking good, right? You see all that, it looks good in the background. And then what you need to do is go to Lost in Translations podcast on YouTube and just let his music play. Just, put it on a loop or something. Let his music play. Because, man, his music is popping. And I'm here to tell you, while that music is playing, man, go get you a bottle of Chardonnay or Merlot or whatever it is she drinking on. Or maybe she wants to go straight to some good stuff, man. Maybe she wants a mojito. You know what I mean? Or margarita. Have some real good margarita mix. Man, bring her a little drink or whatever. Turn on the TV, listen to that music, bro. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. These are things you need to learn. Forget about the black pill, right? Forget about the red pill, purple pill, white pill, whatever damn pill it is, and learn how to be social, get out here and get game, right? I'm in the red pill world, but I'm just here so I can help y'all out, man. You know what I mean? Cody is king. See, that's the problem. Don't want them to get too comfortable so they hang out. I mean, hey, if you're trying to just smash, there's a play for that. And there's a way to do that. If you're just trying to hit it and get on, there's a play for that. But me, I didn't mind them hanging around, but I always had an excuse for them to leave. And I'm like, they can't stay here forever. So we would hang out, I might cook them a little something, like make a fruit salad or make them something, have a couple drinks. We do whatever, it escalates. She wants to do a little something. We do it, whatever. And then when we're done, take a shower, get dressed. And then I would tell her about, hey, there's a real cool dessert joint right down the street. We should go and get some ice cream, like a little ice cream place or whatever. She's like, yeah, take her down and get the ice cream. And then while you're there, now you got Uber. Now you're there, you have your ice cream, and then you can call her an Uber. Hey, I got your Uber. What's your address? You know what I mean? She puts her address in, boom, she's gone. Back in my day, we would just get a cab. Let me get you a cab, shorty. You know what I mean? Because I got this gig or I got whatever. I would always come up with an excuse. And they're like, all right, get them a cab and they're gone. You know what I mean? But Cody has a point. They get too comfortable and they might not want to leave, bro. They might not want to leave. But make sure y'all checking out Lost in Translation. Yeah, bro, that's definitely a problem, man. Your music fire over there. You know what I'm saying? We got Don 007 in the building. What's happening, fam? You say, nah, bro, this dude ain't it, man. I'm telling you, man, this guy, I'm willing to bet $1 to a donut that guy that we just watched, this dude has some game. I'm telling you, that surfboard, that guitar, he's probably got a skateboard in there. If he's living someplace like Manhattan Beach or Santa Monica, you know what I mean, or down there in San Diego, I forget the beach area down in San Diego. I forget. I was only down there for a couple of years. Or up in NorCal. Hey, dude's getting it. Dude's getting it. You know what I mean? He knows what he's talking about. But I don't know. This is the only video I've watched from his platform. I'm gonna go and watch some more of his stuff and see what's up. But I agree with this black pill stuff that he was talking about. I agree with that. Cody's like, I don't want Lost in Translation getting part of my credit. Boy, you wilding. He said, yeah, just tell you, yeah, there it is. I'll do that. Don't think I wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? That's the homie. What? You know him? Oh my God. Yeah, bro, whatever it takes. You know what I mean? That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I'm gonna break it down, simply play hard, play fair, or play to win. Bro, play to win. Just play to win. Yeah, I mean, if I like all three of those, but if I got to choose one, play to win. Play to win, bro. It's a dog eat dog out here, bro. And there's all's fair in love and war, right? So it really ain't no rules. Go out there and do what you got to do, man. Learn your game, figure out, and it's all about really charm. If you're a black pillar and you can figure out how to be charming, if you can just figure that part out, bro, again, that's going to take you so far. Just being able to be charming, you know what I mean, say a little something, something, and then just sit back and chill. And she's just going to be like, oh my God, you will be surprised how easy it is. I can remember being out at a bar, and this couple sits down next to me, right? So I'm sitting in a seat, and there are two seats immediately to my right, like right next to me, and then a seat next to that. So this guy comes in, you know, with this girl, you know, and I mean, look, she's short, like she's like maybe 5 feet, 5'2" or something like that. But boy, she was fine. You know, she had body and everything. I'm like, oh, okay. So he puts her in the seat right next to me. And then he sits to her on her right. So she's between the two of us. And then, you know, I'm like, okay. You know what I mean? Because I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? I'm not putting my girl or the girl I'm with next to a dude who's at the bar. First of all, if I were them, I'd have been in the booth. I'm not even going to the bar, but okay. And the guy went to the restroom right away. And somehow she asked me something or said something to me, something about the bar, or do you know about this, or you come here after or something. And right away, I'm like, oh, remember, guys, I talked to you about women putting themselves in your orbit, making it known. Like if they see you, they're gonna let you know they see you. Well, that's what she's doing. Right. I'm just kind of sitting there. She said something real quick, and I answered her question, and I got back to watching football. I'm like, all right, I ain't trying to get no drama or whatever. I see what's going on though. And then dude comes back, he was kind of cool. And then later on, like maybe 40 minutes later or something, 45 minutes later, we're all watching the game, he done struck up a conversation, and he's asking me how old I am. And I told him, and her eyes lit up. She's like, you're how old? And I told her again. She's like, ooh, and that, bro. when I saw that, man, I was like, whoo, big up to the girls who flex the best.
Tell what Frisco I say.
You know what I have to tell them, say, big up my girl on the side, cause of them flex the best.
Yeah, big. I'm like, okay. Now, I didn't try to holler at her, but I'm pretty sure I'll see her again because it's one of the spots I frequent. And she said, well, they said that they kind of close. They go there a lot, bro. I'm like, why would she say that to me? You know what I mean? Why would she say that to me? But fellas, this is all about being socially in tune and seeing what's going on. Like women they have very poor poker faces, man. Very, very poor poker faces. If they like something, they light up. If they don't like something, they kind of, close down. So you got to be aware of this. They weren't married, right? That was made abundantly clear. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay. So you just never know where it's going to come from. So you got to, and a lot of people are like, well, man, why were you there in the first place? I'm like, really just to stay sharp, stay social, work on my networking skills. That's why I was there. The bar is cool. It's close. Let's go over there. I'm cool with the staff. They be hooking me up sometimes. I'm always tipping really well. So I go in there, give me a little something to eat, get a drink, something, and I'm out. That's why I'm there. Just killing some time, really, and networking. If I got a show coming up, the bartenders are all like, hey, you got any shows coming up? Like, yeah, I'm going to be performing at so-and-so and so-and-so on this day. Oh, well, I'm going to come check you out. Or if they hear some stuff like, hey, we got a buddy who has a bar just open on, this part of town. They're looking for someone to help them do some entertainment. I told them you do comedy. Oh, okay. And they're like, yeah, just hit him up. Here's his Instagram. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll check it out. That's just me out there being social. You know what I mean? And this, that's how you got to do it, man. It's about awareness. Yep. That was Kevin's last word. Self-aware, sexy. Yeah, you got to be self-aware, man. Women love that. You got to be confident, self-aware. It's a whole bunch of stuff, man. But the big thing, man, if you can be charming, I'm telling you, bro, even if the woman is not trying to have a relationship, she ain't trying to do nothing with you, like she's got a guy. If you're charming, she'll still chat you up. She won't even lead you on. She'll chat you up. She'll let you know I'm married, or she'll say something about her husband or her boyfriend, but she'll still chat you up if you're charming. Like, oh, it's cool, blah, blah, blah. You need these skill sets, right? You must have these skill sets when you're trying to go out here and be successful. Again, dragging yourself out of the bottom 80 to the top 20. That's your mission. That's all you got to do. And once you get up there, you already know the science is clear. Right? Sex thing, she was talking about it. The science is clear. Most women prefer the dudes in the top 20. That's who they see. They don't even see the bottom 80 guys. So you get to a point where you're seen by these women. Come on, man. Now you're in the game. Now you're in the game. We'll see what happens. And, you know, it's trial and error. Trial and error. It's a learning process. So anyway, that's all I got. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Tomorrow is Crime and Punishment Tuesday, man. We are talking about police officers who find themselves under investigation for breaking the laws, breaking the rules, whatever, you know, unnecessary violence, you know, excessive force, whatever. And the loophole that allows them to resign, quit, go apply somewhere else and get hired and not get in trouble, not be held responsible for their actions, whatever they did while they were in uniform. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. And what could we do as a society to stop that? And I have some ideas on it. So we're going to, you know, I think that'll be a good conversation. So that's tomorrow, Crime and Punishment Tuesday. Hope you guys can make it 5 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be doing the thumbnails already out. And remember, every Tuesday, we're going to be talking about that. I'm going to have a couple videos that we can see that I'm going to kind of show you what I'm talking about. You know, we are doing a lot better at holding police officers accountable. We are starting to get rid of the bad cops, but we still got work to do. And I think if we fix that, and I have an idea that I'm going to present tomorrow, if we fix that, I mean, that'll be a huge step in the right direction. I appreciate y'all rocking out with me, man. Like I said, it's always a pleasure. This is fun. This is Monday, you know, just kind of getting back into it, getting my feet wet. We'll be back tomorrow. We got tons of videos that I'm just putting out there. Be on the lookout for the shorts. We got a lot of shorts that are doing pretty good. And we're going to just keep doing that, man. Get the algorithm to love us. And we're going to continue to grow this platform. Anything you want me to talk about, man, put it in the comments below. Let me know, or hit me up on Instagram. It's scrolling below here. You got a topic you want me to cover, put it in there. I will definitely do my best to make that happen. And yes, I'm going to be doing some in real life stuff. Yes, I'm going to be talking to more people. Definitely talking to women. I want you guys to really see what's going on. I'm telling you my experience out here talking to women. So I got a traveling kit now that I can actually just, you know, got the DJI mics and you know, I can just boom, put my iPhone there on the stand, put the mics on, and just start talking to women. And I'm not just trying to have those gotcha moments or trying to go viral. I really want you guys to hear what a lot of these women are saying out here in these trenches of what they're dealing with. I think it'll really help, especially for those guys who are trying to do the work. So I got to go. That's it, man. We're done here. Appreciate you, man. I'm DL Saint. This is that I Really Want to Know podcast. I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace.
Nothing like I've ever seen. It's just a thing of beauty.
Darn, that's the end.
Thanks for watching. We really appreciate your support. And if you like that video, check out this one or maybe that one. We'll see you around. Peace.